I was thinking about this 3 years ago and 5 years ago and 6 years ago, and it was in my head, and I was thinking about objectivity, and I was thinking about fighters controlling their own destiny, and I was thinking about how cool would it be if you took away all the subjectivity and you took away the shiny suit sitting behind a desk and saying, Ed's going to fight Tom and that's going to be my world title fight. And if you could just make it really about the fighters ultimately making those decisions inside the cage, dictating their futures inside the cage, and take everything else out of the equation. Joe Soto's performance tonight was just spectacular. But more than that, it's that months ago, we got people that came to us out of Northern California and they said, Joe Soto is an amazingly talented fighter who's not yet been given the chance to be on a big stage. Joe Soto could win this tournament. Joe Soto could be your champion. And we took a look, and we looked at tape, and we watched him, and we saw what he was capable of doing, and recognized that here's an example of a guy who just hadn't been given that shot. And you give a fighter a shot, and if everything's equal and it's completely objective, a world-class champion will step up, and that's exactly what Joe Soto did. And it just, I mean, it gives me an amazing amount of pride that, sitting 2 seats down from Joe Soto is Wilson Hayes, who going into his fight against Joe was one of the top 10 ranked guys at 45 in the world, and put on a great fight and happened to lose that night to Joe Soto. But what it shows, I think, about what we've done in our tournament structure is that a guy can come in as a virtual unknown, beat a guy who is amongst the very best in the world and establish himself, and it can all happen in really short order. It doesn't have to be a 24 or 36-month life expectancy. It doesn't have to be based on 1,000 different factors. It should be based on what happens inside the cage and ultimately the performance that takes place in there. And Joe grabbed this by the throat and choked it out, and it was a great performance. Diego, who we've been trying to get to fight on our shows now for months and months and months, and every time he shows up, somebody gets injured or falls out of a window or something happens, and he shows up and puts on the Rocky performance of the year. Just magical, and it will make for great television. Wilson Hayes, who has performed spectacularly for us and is a world-class fighter who we're just thrilled to have attached to our organization, who's going to come back and fight again next season in a tournament to get back and get a shot at a title and potentially have the opportunity to fight a Joe Soto in a world title fight. Just exactly the kind of guys that we want involved in our organization. Thank you. Brian Baker, thank you for stepping up. Great work. Great to see you. We're looking forward to seeing a lot more of you. Travis, good stuff. Heavy hands. You're always looking for heavyweights. One of the things about Travis that I think was shocking to me is Matt Stanzel, our matchmaker, had said he could punch, but for a man of that size to be able to move like he can move and be able to do the things that he can do, that's a very exciting thing in today's heavyweight division, which is not hugely populated by guys that can move and do the kind of things that he can do. And you know what? Yahir Reyes, who's sitting next to me, the heart of a lion, a guy who came up to me after his last victory. A guy who came up to me after his last victory when he knocked out Esteban Payan with what is surely the best knockout I've seen this year and maybe the best knockout I've seen in the last 2 or 3. And in broken English said to me that was very big for him. And it was an opportunity for a guy who stepped up out of fighting for very little money but had world-class talent and was able to step up and show amazing guts and amazing determination, and did it again tonight. Wasn't able to win the fight, but in these last 2 performances, in his first round fight and his semis, just an amazing performance, and a guy that I am just thrilled fought for us, and I'm looking forward to have fight for us again. In terms of the season and in terms of where we are right now, we've got 2 more World Championship events coming up. They're exciting events, and they're fighters that have gotten to that level by stepping up and performing inside the cage. Toby Amada's fight against Eddie Alvarez is one from a matchup perspective I can't wait to see. Hector Lombard's fight against Jared Hess, you've got a substantial underdog, and you've got a guy that looks like an absolute train wreck at 85 right now fighting. Next week's fight, Omar De La Cruz, Lyman Good, is a pick'em fight with a quarter with 2 guys who are exactly like Joe Soto, who came basically out of nowhere, but who are guys who, given the chance to perform at a world-class level, can do it and can win a world title and could conceivably beat anybody in the world. It's just very exciting, man. It's scratch and sniff. It's objective. It's what we wanted to do, and it's working. and I'm just having a blast as a fan of this game, and having all huge respect for the fighters who participate in it. I'm just having, you have no idea the kind of fun I'm having being involved in this organization and seeing this stuff play itself out. So I'd like to just bring up Joe Soto to say a few words as our new, as Bellator's first champion, our featherweight champion.
I just want to thank everybody for coming out tonight and watching the fight. I'm really blessed that I got the opportunity to compete, and I thank the whole Bellator organization for giving me this chance. Giving me this chance to come out and show my skill set and show what I got, and giving me an opportunity to fight, compete for a title in this beautiful tournament they had run. And I just thank everybody. I thank out there for a tough fight, and I'm really blessed to come out champion of all these great fighters that we had in this tournament. I'm really glad to be a part of this organization, and I'm glad to hold the title for this organization. And I plan on keeping this title for a long time, and I plan on staying defeated for a long time. And I just really want to thank Bellator. I'm just so blessed for fighting. For my belt, it's beautiful. You did a good job on making the belt. It's pretty cool. Thank you. Fantastic.
For those of you who don't know, because I know a lot of questions have come out about this, from a structural perspective, everything that we've done we're going to continue doing. The guys who are going to get an opportunity to fight with Joe Soto are going to compete in an 8-man tournament. They're going to fight 3 fights over 12 weeks, and the winner is going to earn the right to fight that champion. This was not a one-stop shop where we were going to establish champions and then pick the guys who made the best fights from there. They will earn the right to fight him, and they'll earn the right to fight him at 70, and they'll earn the right to fight him at 55, whether that's Toby Amata or Eddie Alvarez. And if Eddie wins that fight, or if Toby wins that fight, whoever loses, they'll go back into the tournament. If they want to accept that invitation, they'll get a chance to fight again. Yahir Reyes will go back into this tournament next season. He will get an opportunity to try to avenge this loss, to try to get back to that final and potentially earn a right at another shot at Joe Soto. So everything that we're about will stay very true. And what we've done in the undercard fights is the same thing, is we've given guys an opportunity. Shine in your undercard fights. Diego Gorijo, a guy who put on an amazing performance tonight, and will be given huge consideration in terms of what's going to happen next and what's going to happen next in our tournament. I'd love to hear from Yahir. Is there somebody here who can interpret for Yahir?
Bueno, quiero agradecer a Bellator por la oportunidad, a mi rival muy fuerte, muy bueno, muy talentoso. Bueno, tuve mucha presión, estaba muy agotado mentalmente. La escuela, estudio ingeniería bioquímica, estoy a finales de mi carrera, me absorbió demasiado.
I want to thank everybody for coming out. My opponent, Joe Soto, is very tough. I've had a lot of pressure. I'm finishing school right now. Biochemist, engineer. And I'm in finals right now, so I've had a lot of things on my plate, but hats off to him.
Bueno, quiero darle las gracias a todos los que me apoyaron, a los que creyeron en mí, y voy a regresar el doble de fuerte para el siguiente torneo.
I want to thank everybody who supported me. I'm going to come back twice as strong for the next tournament and make a run for the title.
Gracias. Thank you.